There's an old adage that says that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and that's true, unless it isn't. There's also an old adage which says there's no fool like an old fool, and its opposition: with age brings wisdom. So it's very interesting then when you look at what happened with Volusia County recently, where their sheriff's department released a very provocative set of body cam images of takedowns of people who are allegedly sex offenders or sexual predators. And what's interesting about this is that the police are very, very, very aware of stoking public resentment against a marginalized group of people, as well as one that needs a lot of protection, children. And the marginalized group are people who supposedly commit sex offenses. And I say supposedly because I'm not at all denying that sex offenses occur. Clearly they do. But we do know that police often exaggerate. They stoke statistics. They refuse to lay all their cards on the table and show us exactly what they're up to. And when we do dig into the numbers and they are forced to show, what we find very often through particularly good journalists such as those on Reason.com and others and Wired Magazine and some of the other ones that aren't afraid to push hard on this, and our journalists are actually aware of technology and how police behave. What we find is that the numbers are really quite different. That you'll find other felons, that you'll find things not related directly to sex, but the police, never mention that part because of course it's not in their interest to do it, and so they want you to believe that a picture is worth 1,000 words, but of course it is only worth 1,000 words some of the time. And these words that come up through the police um, exemplify exactly what is wrong with this idea of reading the novel from the back forward to the front, or going to look at something when you're looking at just the end piece and not paying attention to process. When you're paying attention to the entire process, what you actually learn is quite different. You learn, for example, that police have particular scripts that they use, that they don't sit back and wait for a child predator to hit. What they do is they actually engage and pretend to be an adult, somebody you would expect to see on a dating or hookup app, only to find out later that they flipped the script after many, many messages. In my case, it was 100, but I'm not the only one complaining about this. Lots and lots of people who have been victimized by the police claim this as well. So they don't wait for something to happen. They argue we have to move into action. Well, okay. Are you investigating an actual crime in progress? Are you simply trolling, hoping something will happen? And worse than that, that you're actually setting the person up. Why are you approaching them? Why are you among the first to suggest sex? Why are you then claiming that what they said of a sexual nature before you mentioned that your persona is not an adult at all, as you claimed originally, but really a child? Why is that being held against the person later in court? These are all questions that we have that police refuse to answer because they know that for the average and ordinary public, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Until, as I said, it isn't. This is Norman Michaelation with ICAC Unpacked. I will post down below the Volusia County body cam. I am not going to feature it here directly because it's very dishonest because it simply doesn't show everything. Nobody reads the last 2 pages of the novel unless they're extremely lazy or extremely dishonest. You have to read the whole novel to know what really happened. Have a good day.